Hello and welcome to the laundry. We're in the laundry again. I don't even know how many videos I've done in the laundry, but we're back again. So a while ago I did a video on the Aldi food dehydrator that I had been gifted from my dad. He didn't need it. And I've actually been using it a lot. So I thought today I had some apples that I really need to process. Do I sound very homesteaderish saying that? That I could show you guys or show anybody watching this video basically how to dehydrate apples. If you already know this skill, you might forget that stage of actually before you knew it. So this is for a person that is wondering about dehydrating food and is it challenging and difficult? No. Can you do it? Yes. Can I do it? Yes. Because otherwise I wouldn't be making this video. But I'm down here in my laundry with everything set up so that I can show you. So without further ado, I'll show you the setup I have down here in the laundry. To dehydrate food, you need a food dehydrator. Optional, but I also say need, is the Apple Core Whirligig thing. I originally bought this probably 10 years ago. You can find them at thrift stores. I see them there, and they make for a really easy appling, technical term. This is the last remaining apples that I have to process. And I have this foldable crate that originally was full. I found this crate that it actually folds up flat at a thrift store for $4. So that's one of my super bargains that I've gotten. Obviously apples, I have a knife and a chopping board, and that's my container for the scraps. And I will show you what I do with my scraps when I'm done. I have you set up on the deep freezer because obviously, like every room in my house, we have a limited filming space. So hopefully you'll be able to get the idea, and you just cast your eyes down here and you'll be able to see what I'm doing. At least that's the plan. Anyhow. So these apples are from my friend's tree in her backyard. They're organic, they haven't been sprayed, but they can have spidery webbishness, so I'm gonna give these a quick rinse. I was straight away getting into it, not even showing you anything. So let's back up. Do this more slowly for you. Ugh. So with this apple core thingy, I have this little trigger on the side, and if you push that in, you can slide that out, like that. I then get my apple, and I use this, not the stem side, the opposite side, stab it in, and then we just start turning the handle, and then this section is what actually peels it, and then this part is what cores it. And it's as easy as that. Pull off my scraps and put it in my container. Because can you tell how much of a huge fan of cleaning as you go I am? It's just who I am. So as we have the lit up window and the buzzing fluoro, we're gonna do the best we can with what we've got, okay? So I've got my apple like this, and then what I'm gonna do is, I don't even need my knife. What am I doing? What I do is I just snap it off like that, If there's any gross bits, oh, I do need my knife. If there's any imperfections that you don't want to include, just cut them out. Ta-da, like that. And then I'm gonna start loading the dehydrator. So this dehydrator has 5 trays and they look like this. Hang on. I do have like wow. English, Catherine. English. I do have wax paper or waxed paper that I have for when I'm doing like fruit leathers and stuff like that I reuse over and over until they're not usable. But I don't need those today. I need them to be open like this. So we put that in. I'm just trying to be like a professional, and clearly I'm not because of my angles. Okay, so I just simply go in. I like snapping them sort of where they cross over a bit, so they're like that, so that they can sort of join back together once they're dry. And you can have them pretty close together because obviously as the moisture comes out of them and they dehydrate, you're gonna have spaces between them. And I use every single bit. And then I just go and do the rest of the apples. On. Ta-da! So I hope I didn't make it overly complicated for you to follow, or that you weren't watching it the whole time going, really? She's really showing us this? But yes, you know, there are people who are like, how do you use a dehydrator? I know when I first even found out about dehydrating food that I heard about the Excalibur dehydrator, which is like anywhere between, I think, like $5 upwards to $1,000, $600, I don't know. And it was kind of like this ideal, like, I've got to have the biggest and best, and sometimes you just don't. So that's my little take on things, is that you can buy a fairly inexpensive dehydrator and get just as fabulous results. But yeah, so basically the next steps are, you flick it on and you'll hear a beep, I think. You hear a beep, and then it automatically sets itself at 10 hours. This is where having a family can come into play, because you can have picky people. So I do have one child that's like, I don't like them super crispy, I like them more flexible or whatever. So for us, I found the happy ground is about 8 hours. So let's get off my face and I'll show you down here. So all you have to do to adjust your time is you've got a plus and a minus. So I'm just gonna go down. It goes down in half-hour increments. And then the standard is 70 degrees for the temperature. I just leave it, press start. It will beep very loudly for about a minute when it's done. But I keep it in the laundry for one main reason. And that main reason is we have a very tiny kitchen, like super tiny. And I have space down in the laundry where I can put something like this where it doesn't need any like care, out of my way. So it's gonna sit down here in the laundry for at least the next 8 hours while it dehydrates the apple. I am now moving on to what am I gonna do with my little bucket of scraps. And then once this is over, I do the next amount of apples. I will give you a word of caution. My word of caution to you is only peel and core one apple at a time, because there's no standard set amount of apples that fits in here. I'll count how many cores I have. 6. I fit 6 apples in here. A couple of them were really big, one of them was really small, so it just depends. But average it's 6 apples, and I'll break up, as you probably saw, the smaller bits to kind of fit in. It's kind of like a puzzle. And then you just wait, and then you do the next lot of apples. I also have peeled and cored a ton of apples and actually cooked them and cooled them down and have put them in my deep freezer. You can do tons of stuff with them. But this is my friendly reminder to you. Don't get bogged down thinking that you can only do something if you spend tons of money getting the most fabulous of the thing, which is my whole Excalibur point that I made earlier. And don't get bogged down with thinking, not only do I have to learn how to dehydrate, I have to make soap, and I have to learn how to make apple cider vinegar, and I have to learn how to do canning, and all these have-tos. I want to do all those kind of things, but I need to English. I need to slowly build up my skills to do all of those things. So that's what I hope I can show on my YouTube channel, is that you see me do a lot of different things. And you know, if you ain't learning, you might as well just, we got to keep learning. We got to keep our brilliant minds working. So that's my little thing out for you today. But so now, what did I say we would do? Get rid of the peels, and I'll show you the stash of apples that I already have so you can see what they look like when they're dehydrated, and then I'll move on to just the next thing in my wonderful life. The first way that I can get rid of my apple peels is with Poppy and Bear. So this is our little dose of super cute. Sarah, do you love the bunnies?
Yes, they're so cute.
Alright, I'll go around. So they love apple peels. Another way that I can get rid of my apple peels is by giving them to my child. Do you want some more?
Mine.
Delicious? So, we've got bunnies, we've got a child. I have tried giving the cores to the bunnies before, and they're not that interested. They just love the peels. So, I put the rest in the compost, telling myself that I don't need to be a hero and try to make apple cider vinegar with them. I did that really bad thing again where I didn't say goodbye. So now I'll say goodbye to you. Yeah, so hopefully you could see with me sort of showing how the dehydrator worked, and my little pep talk about saying don't have to have the fanciest of everything, that you'll be encouraged to give things like this a go too. It can sometimes be daunting, like, what happens if it gets wrecked or doesn't work? If it gets wrecked or if it doesn't work, then just try again another time, or ask a friend who might know more, or don't beat yourself up and don't be hard on yourself about it, and you'll work it out eventually. But anyhow, this is one of the containers of the dried apples that I have made, and they're yummy. The kids like them. There's nothing too exciting to say about it, but yeah, it's a good way to preserve your excess fruit if you have it. I've also made like fruit leather. So where I talked about using the waxed paper, that's where I would put like fruit leather and stuff like that. So happy dehydrating, and I'll see you soon. About what? I'm not sure, but it'll be something. So that's it.